Hello YouTube, the Eye of Stone here. Today we are going to be playing Still Life with Blackjack, which is the final full mission of Thief Deadly Shadows. So this is kind of an end of an era. We've still got the final sequence out on the city streets to do, but that's not really that's not really a level, and as far as boss fights go, it's kind of underwhelming. So I've always thought of Still Life with Blackjack as kind of the big show of Thief Deadly Shadows, and it is a formidable level. There's a lot of loot to be had, but each individual piece of loot doesn't tend to get you terribly. It only gets you so far. There's a lot of loot you have to collect. There's the typical special 3 loot items. Because on this playthrough of Thief Deadly Shadows, I did sell the crown, so we're after the heart, the eye, our old frenemy, the eye, and the Kershaw crown, plus 3 special loot items, and then the 90% regular loot requirement. A lot of guards here. The security systems, you can turn the power on and off. There's a way to get past the electricity, all that. I just find the guards here to be tough and organized in the tradition of Constantine's guards. So, with that being said, let's get right at it. Here we go.
How's it going, Sinclair?
Not bad, I guess. Only...
What? Let me guess. You got a bad feeling about tonight, right?
I've got the heebie-jeebies, something awful. I feel like there's someone watching me, even now.
Boo.
Ah, hey! Now, what you do that for?
Back to work, you taffer.
Okay. I will start by reiterating that this
Should
is
have gone to sea, like my brothers before me. Ha ha ha.
This is a let's play. This is not a walkthrough. This is not comprehensive. This is a level where if we're
I'm with you now.
This will be easy.
Uh-oh. Maybe yes, maybe no.
Is someone being clever?
Not terribly clever.
You give a shout the second you find anything, got it?
We want to get out of here.
Now that we're looking, I'm not as sure.
Anyway, I want to reiterate that this is a let's play. This is not a walkthrough. This is not comprehensive. This is one give and run. This is a level of a certain size that we are not going to get to everything. Runtime, is a factor in terms of making a video that anybody is going to sit through a significant portion of. And in terms of producing these and being able to get them made and then get them uploaded and have a product that is watchable in any sane amount of time. I can't I can't get to everything. I prefer, when heavenly possible, not to divide a single level into multiple videos. Now, sometimes that has been necessary, for example, like a level like Sabotage at Soul Forge or Life of the Party. On some occasions, it just takes 2 videos to do a single level. Try to avoid it if at all possible. I also try to avoid having 3-hour videos. And I am a player who is not averse to a certain judicious number of knockouts, but I'm also trying not to clock every guard in an entire level. And if I'm going to avoid that and keep the runtime under 3 hours, then I cannot get to every single piece of loot most of the time. Now, we kind of got lucky there. So, we have cover back here. I'm not worried about making that guard suspicious to get at this loot. He's not going to come back here. And whether it's a glitch in this load of the level or if that's just how it is, this doesn't seem to have even made him suspicious. So he's not facing over here. We're going to have to there's several pieces of loot in there. We're going to come back for all that later. I guess Garrett's reaching over the glass into the area where I broke the glass. We didn't make him suspicious once, and it doesn't seem we've made him suspicious twice by breaking glass, so let's get the loot. We will certainly get 90% of the loot, but, I'm not going to go for everything. It's just, it's not always practicable. At my age...
In her office, do you know? I don't know. Why? You're not asking for a raise already, are you? I wish. No, I think I have something to report. Was Wilson sleeping again? Let him nap. Nothing ever... No, it's not that. It's those electric securities. Did you know that if they get wet, they... Oh, that. And you want to tell Curator Milton? Don't be a chump. The Curator's real proud of the security. So they got a little tiny weakness. They worked well enough on them 2 fellas a while back. You'll get fired for even mentioning it.
So, that right there is the strategy I'm going to employ. It saves time, and assuming you can time your movements properly, I find it to be a lot more simple than... turning off the power and then rushing to the defended displays. I'm just going to short a given quadrant of it with the water arrows and snatch the relics. In this playthrough of the game that I've been recording, I went and sold the crown. So I have the heart, the eye, and the crown to snag, in no particular order tonight. At my age and just for how long I've been playing these games, I am certainly not burnt out of my beloved Thief. It's not like that. It's more that, yes, I want to play these levels at a certain level if I'm going to upload them to YouTube. Duly noted. I just, I do not have it in me to really play completionist anymore. You get to a certain point where you just get casual. Your skill level is what it is. it is true that I don't really feel I have anything to prove at this point. You know, I try not to play sloppy, but honestly, at this point with this Let's Play, when I make a mistake, it's comical. It almost makes me laugh. And, when you play virtuoso style and you never make any mistakes, you can fall out of the habit of being able to think quickly and solve problems on the fly, spontaneously when they occur. I'm more curious to see if I get into trouble, can I get out of trouble, and how do I do that? You play, you build up your skill, you get to the point with these levels where you can play them close to perfectly anyway. But, to me, playing a level of Thief is not supposed to be like playing the perfect game of chess or a perfect game of Magic the Gathering. I refuse to play Thief algebraically or mathematically. Getting it perfectly right every time is simply not interesting to me. It's certainly totally divorced from any kind of reality if you were Garrett walking around this place. The guards are never going to be this oblivious. I'm not allergic to screwing up a little bit.
This must be one of their thief-proof security measures. But everything has a weakness, or a power switch, or something.
To me, it's more exciting that way. Alright, now, what we want to do is you fire a water arrow at those coils, and it will short out one segment of the electricity very briefly. You have to time it carefully.
Too much in every direction, not every direction, not all the time. One day you're going the wrong way.
Well, you do want to actually hit the coils. Now, I'm just gonna refresh myself. See, you don't have much time at all. You have enough time, but just barely.
Thieves are getting bolder, they say. Going about armed. Just as happy to murder as steal a loaf of bread.
Okay. So there's the heart. 1 down, 2 to go. This is a level that is large, and it's also densely populated by guards. So, if you want to time yourself, or you want practice, really getting your timing precise, and see if you can get past an area where you have several guards to watch out for, and you have to factor your movement when you decide to move, how you go from one point to the next. You're paying attention to not making any noise. You're paying attention to the movements of several guards, what their facing is, when, can you get from one point to another in a given rotation of theirs? If you can't, is there somewhere to stop and hide along the way, kind of like I'm doing here? If you want to practice that aspect of Thief, this is a great level to do that in. You have a lot of you have a lot of opportunity to do that here. Now, there's a way, if you knock an arrow and draw back a string and then don't want to fire, there is a way to disarm the bow. In Thief 3, even after all these years, I always forget how to do it. So feel free to remind me in the comments section. I always forget how to disarm the bow in this game.
People are always taking things.
Well, as a guard in a museum, gee, isn't it your kind of job to prevent that?
Dark in here. Can't remember where the light switch is.
They're candles. There is no light switch. That doesn't look like one of
Getting spooked at
Gervasius's
nothing.
gas
Maybe my
lamps.
relief will come soon.
Okay. Kind of bulky lock here.
Achoo.
There's also these rooms to sort of cool down and make decisions about where you want to go next. Again, it's been a long time since I've played this level, so I'm going to do the readings. You know, I'll also mention that as I was saying with the Mage Towers, which was the last video I did on this channel, I've just exited a unrewarding, career in a kind of troublesome field, and I'm free and clear of it now, and happily so. But in the last days of it, I was considered essential, and you're just constantly busy.
Thought I seen something.
Uh-oh. It is absolutely true that, as my thief skills are
Again.
a little bit rusty. It'll come back to me. The end of Thief 3 and the Thief Gold levels, it's rough on me. I'm trying to get my groove back on. These are difficult levels. But, again, I kind of enjoy the fact that the game is difficult again. Because you work yourself up to a level where you still enjoy the game, but it isn't really difficult. Well, I find that being a bit rusty and getting myself into a little bit of trouble, it sometimes in these later videos, it makes me nostalgic for the old days. And now that I'm not in that field anymore, is certainly going to have more time for this again. And hopefully I'll be able to do Thief 4 at a faster pace. Now, here we have a guard who's facing us. That is the taciturn lady. It's a special loot item. We have to get it. The shadows in here are not actually that good. Now, there's 2 pieces of loot there. I see them. They're not really what I'm prioritizing.
Was that
I'm prioritizing that painting.
False alarm.
To keep the knockout count under control, because we're going to do knockouts in Tesoro Hall when we get there. I'm not prioritizing those 2 pieces of loot. I can satisfy the 90% requirement without getting into it with that guy. So I might
bloody dangerous.
I
Let 'em
might
come, that's what I say.
I might go for those at some point. Let's
Did I see?
let's
Better wake up. There. Was that anything?
see, I'm knife edging it with that guy right now. It's not worth it for 2 candlesticks. as far as I'm concerned, those 2 candlesticks are not worth a knockout if I can satisfy the loot requirement some other way. It's getting in line with that whole thing about them not supposed to knowing you were there. Yeah, I could flash bomb him. Yeah, I could put moss arrows down, and moving slowly, I probably could get those without alerting him. But again, there's just other factors that have kind of become relevant. This legacy computer I have runs these old, the computer I have right now runs especially Thief Gold and Thief the Metal Age, but also Thief Deadly Shadows. And therefore FMs potentially. This system runs these games. It's still a Windows 7 system. It's an 8 gig machine. And there's all kinds of, I hear horror stories about compatibility issues and fixing all that being something you have to set up and it being a process. Some people are apparently able to do it easy. Other people are reporting having fits with it. This older system really allows me to play and record these games without too terribly much fuss. Now, the system's getting old. I've, continually invested in things like new power supplies, new processor batteries, new cooling fans. And I'm perfectly happy to do that. But, it is an old computer. So things like, producing the video and getting the videos ready, getting the videos uploaded, I had a really bad internet connection here for the last 3 years. Actually, my internet connection has been horrible. We've got a mesh network where I'm at set up now, so actually uploading is easier, but that's getting these videos uploaded has been an issue. Now, when we get to Thief 2014, this system, I could do the Let's Play of Thief 2014 on this system doable at a level of quality that will at least be acceptable. Not ideal. On the other hand, it's like I just don't want to go the route of setting up a Patreon and asking you all for money for some kind of system just to do the Let's Play of Thief 2014, And I'm not passive-aggressively suggesting that by bringing it up. Going the Patreon or the monetized route, that's just not what I've never been monetized. I don't want to be monetized. And I don't want to go the Patreon route either. So what's the point of all this? The point of all this is that if I am going to use this system to do Thief 2014, it'll work, but there's, a question of the longevity of this computer. So I have to keep this at a certain pace. Time is not exactly on my side. But, that keeps me, that will keep me on my toes. I definitely want the Thief 2014 Let's Play to happen at a much more consistent, expeditious pace than it's taken me to do these other games. I'm not worrying about those candlesticks right now. Maybe we'll come back from later. What we're going to do here is we're actually going to skip the crown. We're going to go to Tesoro Hall now, take this a little bit out of order, and let's go for the eye. We'll come back. I'm going to do this a little bit out of order tonight. You would go about getting the crown in another section of the outer level, but I'm going to break with protocol and let's just jump into Tesoro Hall. The outer area is important, but this is sort of the big, this is sort of the main area of this level.
I'll be home soon, drinking good dark ale, nibbling on a nice leg of mutton, forgetting about this place.
Let's get this lock picked.
I'll meet up later with the boys. Have myself a good one. Yeah.
You know, I'm straying into some off-topic matters as we do this tonight, but I am very concerned about...
Probably my own echo.
It would really be nice if Night Dive's redo of SS System Shock 1 would come out soon, and if Warren Spector is able to get System Shock 3 reignited. I would love to get a new gaming machine and do Let's Plays of those on the Eye of Stone, because, you know, I've sort of decided to keep the Eye of Stone focused on Thief, but then again, as I have said elsewhere, for me, System Shock, because, you know, even System Shock, the original System Shock 1, future Thief developers met on that project. So, for me, System Shock has always been Thief in space, basically. I mean, not quite, but there is and can be a stealth element to the how you might play the System Shock games. At least the second one. I'm not so sure about the first, but I would love to get a gaming machine that will be able to just run the System Shock titles. You know, I don't know. Maybe my machine would be okay for Night Dive, for what, you know, Night Dive ultimately puts out for the SS1 redo. If they make
I
System
just saw
Shock...
it.
Okay, he's suspicious. If Night Dive ever gets to finish System Shock... If Other Side, excuse me, ever gets to finish System Shock 3, I imagine I would need...
Why do funny things always happen on my shift? Nothing. Too clever for me own good.
I imagine I would need a new gaming machine to run System Shock 3, but I would love to do that on the Eye of Stone. You know, when I do the Let's Play of Thief 2014, assuming I use this machine to do it, the graphics will be okay. They won't be great. They'll be adequate. You know, this passage right here, obviously the climbing gloves are super useful. Now, down here is a piece of loot that is kind of a pain to get at. It's up on a statue, and you have to get it down. Now, I'm not actually going to go and get it down now, but this room... Well, let's listen to this first. That recording always used to confuse the hell out of me, but my partner and my fellow Taffer Eckheimer tells me that it's related to mechanist interrogation of the pagans from Becco the Wills in the
How's
second
it going?
game.
So it is.
I couldn't make out what Karis was saying there, but apparently it's repent. I'd always wondered what the hell that recording was. Now, again, so the piece of loot is up there on the statue. We're going to get it down later. I'm sort of going to prepare this area. This is a good area to do a little cluster of knockouts that will thin the ranks a bit so that I can move around this area. So for now, we're kind of going to be in here for a bit, but we're not... This is going to be kind of tedious. See, there's the piece of loot up there. We'll get to it. You know, and again, if you're not going to turn the level into a knockout fest, there's sort of some tedious phase of just sort of skulking around and figuring out what your
Bishop. Did you hear the
approach is going to be.
About which thing?
Crowley got himself fired yesterday. He told Curator Milton one of the displays kept talking to him, telling him things.
Oh, yeah? What did Milton do?
She just kind of looked at him all squinty with that metal thing in her eye, you know?
She never puts it down. Treats it like gold.
I hate that thing. Anyway, she looked at him, but Crowley stuck to his guns, so she gave him the big heave-ho.
Unbelievable. Good old Crowley.
So we already have that monocle. That was a special loot item. We have it. So you see there's like 3 guys. 2 on roving and 1 static. And they all, you know, there's one guy standing there facing the piece of loot we gotta get. And then there's 2 on roving. You know, there is a way to ghost it. But if you're not going to ghost it, what you have to do is you basically have to fire an arrow of some kind to knock that piece of loot off that statue. Let the guard who's facing it get suspicious. Let him calm down.
Evening.
And then sneak over to get the piece of loot. So you can ghost it. You can use the other approach that I just outlined. Or you can do some knockouts and thin the ranks. I think in this case, just taking out this static guy here will be sufficient. And we can use, you know, because if we get rid of him, there is a lapse of time where there's nobody in here. So we'll just throw him sort of out of the way. And as far as that piece of loot up there is concerned, that should be sufficient. We're not going to do it right now. I am sort of, in terms of the completing the discrete tasks of this level, I am sort of doing a little piece of this and then a little piece of that. I am breaking it up a bit. Typically, you wouldn't play it that way. Typically, you would go to one area, do what you need to do, and move on. Again, playing it the way I'm playing it is kind of helping me thaw out of stasis, as it were. You know, with the job I was working, I really did not have any time for Thief. You know, as a gamer, you kind of got to be, in a certain sense, serious, or you bring the best of yourself when you play Thief, and I just was not up for it. Been playing a lot of classic Doom, a lot of Doom wads. I was able to. So you can't get up to it. You know, you'd like to think that you could jump, but you can't get to it. I was able to uninstall it again, but you know, one of the things that's gotten in the way of the Eye of Stone is goddamn Skyrim. Pardon my French, but that game has been heroin to me. I think now at long last I finally have that game out of my system. I hate it. I hate Skyrim. I've gone from loving it to absolutely hating it and continue to play it anyway. If you look at my Steam, I don't know if you can see how many hours somebody you're friends with on Steam has in a certain game. I have like close to 1,000 hours into Skyrim. Too much. Don't be doing that. Now, I'm gonna take this guy out. I think it's just a power switch in there. I guess I do want the option to take out the power in this level. So, let's take him out. I just don't want to do it when that guy who's on roving patrol comes through here. So, okay, yes, I am screwing up royally. Well, that's how not to do it. I guess the railing there is taller than it appears to be.
Something. Nothing. I guess I didn't see anything.
What an impressive waste of gas arrows. Well, I also have the gas bombs. But, again, a salutary demonstration of how not to play this game. Yeah. Just to demonstrate a feature of this level, you can use taking out the power to good effect. There's still candles to watch out for, but this will enable us to move about quickly. Okay, let's not run face first into the sky.
Better wake up.
And it is easier to sneak up on these guys when the power is out.
Nothing. Maybe some random sound.
Comes a man, less one eye to carry me again. Can you hear me from up there, little man? I have a secret to tell. Come down here where I can get a better look at you.
Okay. We all know the eye. And the power's back on. Okay, you're getting troublesome, Mr. Guard. 49%, so we're kind of lagging on loot. You know, again, I've taken things out of order, and I've walked right past a lot of, you know, targetable loot. So for us to physically be at this part of the level and only be at 49 loot, we are behind.
Boots, stupid toe pinchers. Things don't just disappear.
Sure they do.
All clear. Probably heard a mouse scurrying about.
Probably nothing, but just in case. Nothing there. Back to guarding.
Did I just hear?
Alright, now this guy is facing us.
Why is this open? Something's not right here.
So, good place for a disaster. He's gonna be a pain. Probably gonna end up taking this guy down, but...
Well, I'll just chalk it up to the late hour. And that Burrick burger I had earlier.
Ugh. Nothing about that is appetizing. That's like toxic horse meat. So this is a huge level, but the guard count is so high that it's also claustrophobic.
Evening to you. What's with the friendly bit?
Alright, so we've already heard this one. Oh, there's two of them. And again, I cannot for the life of me remember how you disarm this bow. I used to know. I'm brain damaged, but I don't think this arrow can take both of them out. It might. I don't want to risk it. For this, I think we use a gas bomb.
I don't know. They had to do it their own way. Would have saved them a lot of trouble, a lot. If they just listened to me in the first place.
Alright. Take this guy down, grab the loot. And then we take this guy down.
Just then. Well,
Well, at least I managed to hit my targets this time. Now we have... You're gonna go up to Curator Milton's office. Now there's a guard sitting in that chair in the middle of this dark room. It's very easy to just walk straight into him. But there's adequate cover to get past him. I just want to make sure there's nothing over there that I can't remember if there's any loot over there or not. I really don't want trouble with this guy. Once in a while, I check the top of these bookshelves. Good way to hide if you get caught. Oh, yeah, this is one of the fairly rare gold locks. There's a large amount of loot in here. I've already read this one.
Never found, eh? Maybe no one's looked hard enough.
Okay. Well, at this point, we are comfortably above 2/3 of the way there. 67%. So caught up a little bit on the loot.
In your mind, imagine you have locked all your troubles in a box and tossed the box into a deep, deep ravine. As the box falls further and further away from you, wave goodbye to your troubles. They will never make their way out of the locked box. And even if they did, chances are they'd never climb all the way out of that very deep ravine. And from now on, you'll be a more relaxed and confident person. A trouble-free person. A person that can say the following out loud several times a day. I have thrown away my box of troubles. I feel relaxed and confident. If more troubles come my way, I will put them in a box too and toss them into the deep, deep ravine in my mind. In my mind. In my mind. In my mind.
If my troubles come back, I will set Victoria on them. Okay, now here comes the city's Statue of Liberty. She is going to bop you. So obviously we have to time our snagging of the eye on those balconies with those guards on roving patrol. I wonder how many RPM you could spin her up to. And let's just get past this guy. There's no reason at all to rile him. He's probably actually asleep. I mean, he'll wake up if you bother him, but... Now, down here is kind of an annoying spot. There is loot to be had, but the guards here are just sort of a pain. The cover's not really that good. You've got guards up on an elevated position. You've got a rover and a static down here. However, you can use this corner here on the right to get past him, because there's stuff to be had over on that table. So assuming you don't, if you climb over the railing here without an accidental jump, you can quietly Alright, so there he goes. Just for the sake of argument, when we jump down there, I'm going to... Let's see. Well, there we go. Quiet enough. %68.
What's this? Could it really be gone?
It could really be gone. Now, up on this wall here, there's a painting. I don't think we're going to get to it right now. We'll come back for it. Let's just get this open.
Darn it. Really look, because I'm telling you,
Boy.
something could be there.
He's tenacious.
You give a shout the second you find anything, got it?
He got really riled up. We'll come back for the painting later. I want to get the eye. See, there's the painting over there. We'll get it. Let's just focus on not getting caught. Yeah, we can't. What you have to do is you have to go up the wall and then over the railing. So.
I should write a book. A guard's life by me.
Okay, you are in my way. But there's a lot of reinforcements. Okay, poor timing.
Where's the guard? No discipline.
Drop the body, Garrett. Now. Well, I got lucky.
Well,
That's
I'll
the
just
only-
chalk it up to the late hour. And that Burrick burger I had earlier.
That's the only reason I'm not skewered right now. I just got lucky on that one.
He's been killed! What kind of guard would I be if I didn't check in the shadows, eh?
Okay, I need to get out of here.
Just come on out so's I can fight you.
If I stay here, I'm gonna end up... One of these guys is gonna get me. I need to get clear of here.
I will find you, you know, sooner or later.
Alright, that's where we need to go. Now there's a rover right there. Both balconies have one. So that's where we were with our box of troubles. Now, is he gonna come through here? Yes, he is.
Alarm! seems the richness whose characteristics at the hand of the builder.
Someone playing tricks?
Praise to chaos and the builder.
Guess I was wrong. Nothing's here.
I enjoyed Karis as a villain. You know, I enjoyed Constantine as a villain.
No surprise.
But I'm glad that in the second game we had a different type of villain. There were people who didn't like Karis. They thought he was too cerebral, too feeble.
Hate you!
I disagree. You know, he might have been old, but had you ended up in personal combat with him, who knows what might have happened. He'd be liable to stick you with a hypodermic needle before you even realized what had happened. I don't know, that's just my take on it. I enjoyed Karis as a villain. Cutting it a little close with these guys. I'm kind of being sloppy about staying in the shadows. Again, the shadows in this level are not perfect. They're kind of deceptive. There's a lot of areas where it looks like there's cover, but it really isn't.
Who's supposed to be on duty here?
You are.
Doubt it's anything, but I've got to check anyway.
So, he's walking around being a pain.
Forget it. Going to be a long shift if I jump at every little thing.
You know, the eye is spinning around, so we have to either sync this up.
Something moving.
This guy is
Jumping
really
in my
beginning,
own shadow, I bet.
really beginning to get on my nerves.
Nothing. Just imagined it.
Like Shodan, I tire of this exercise. I'm imminently visible.
Again? What was that?
Alright, we might
Back to
try a
work. Nothing.
flash bomb on this occasion,
usual.
I think. Again, cutting that pretty close.
You miss your eye, little man. I've seen many interesting things with it. Someday I might come looking for the other one.
Charming as always. Why can't you conjure up some haunts to help me with these museum guards? Let's not put that idea in the eye's head. At this point, haunts are the last thing I want to have to worry about. I do have thief dreams periodically, and you've never known terror till you've had haunts chasing you on motorcycles. I've had many thief dreams. I've had many thief dreams featuring the haunts, the hammer haunts. Once, a long time ago, I started a thread about that over at ttlg.com. A lot of people responded. A A lot of people have thief dreams.
Don't think I imagined that.
Get around you yet again. Let's see about maybe getting that painting. We want to try to get continue to close that loot deficit, because we're gonna head back.
What's that then?
To the outer area to get the crown.
Not even sure I heard anything at all.
There's also another loot cluster nearer to where the crown is that we're gonna hit on the way out, and that's probably where we'll end up satisfying the loot requirement for this level. Doesn't cost me anything to Now, it's sort of cheating to do it this way, but you could always reach through with your arm in real life anyway, so...
Ooh, I shouldn't have eaten so much. But what can I tell her? I guess I could say I just don't like mutton.
We have much in common, little man. We are both marked, destined always to be part of history, never just observers.
True enough. Now, okay. So, we now have our 3 special loot items. We, need to get the crown, and we need to get that. We need to get the rest of the loot. 75%. Now, you know, the guard who was coming through here was too far away to hear. There was a guard up there. He heard it, but he can't get to me. Kind of lacked subtlety. I just got to keep a pace here. I'm beginning to fatigue a little bit. Recently had a suggestion for a FM to do, and I'm going to be looking into that. But I still have to decide what I'm going to do as far as FMs are concerned. I do, you know, really sort of got to take it one thing at a time. Oops. I felt it was important to at least break ground on a first full Thief Gold level, so that's why I did Mage Towers. But after this, we're gonna just run rings around Gamal and have done with this. Then we're gonna do...
Did I hear that?
Who knew you would survive this long? I'm rarely terribly impressed by humans. I admit, I never expected to see you again.
It was a nice touch bringing the eye back for this third game. Anyway, we're going to finish this, we're going to finish Thief Gold, then we're going to do Thief 2014, and then I will decide what to do next. I just have to take it one thing at a time. But again, to repeat myself and reiterate, I am very serious about getting Thief 2014 done. A, much sooner, and B, without year-long breaks or 3-month-long breaks or 6-month-long breaks between individual videos. I can't promise it, but with Thief 4, there's going to be a concerted, renewed effort to keep us going. You know, that pesky reality has a nasty habit of intruding upon my activities here. It's
These godforsaken boots.
it's no picnic,
I can't
especially
wear my own shoes to
lately.
work.
Keeping
What
it at
difference could
bay
it possibly make?
so that I can be doing this. No, we're not going to go that way. We were already up there. Okay, so now we're going to go back to Porter Hall. So this is a different area. This is the West Wing. Not too many guards and plenty of loot to catch up on. Let's just peruse. It's a museum. We're here to examine the antiquities. Bad habit to leave doors open behind you. Now, this is where we smashed the glass the first time. That's directly to the left, so we have to, you know, it's not necessary to have trouble with this guy. We can... Okay. We don't need any problem with this guard. I'm just going through this reading real quick. Oh, it's our friend Brammy. Another nice touching nod to Thief 2. 78. So some of these loot items just aren't worth much. We still got a ways to go. Alright, I just need to collect myself here for a second. Again, because of work-related disruptions, it has been a long while since I've played this game.
How come this light is turned off? Hey, how come this light is turned off?
You've got problems, old Benny. Still, there's times I envy him. Now, this guy's kind of weird. I always remember this guy. I don't know if that's a glitch in the script, but something about, I mean, I guess he's watching two directions at once by standing there, but You would think he'd be turning his facing more. Either way, he's an obstruction. Anesthetic. All right, we're almost there. Admittedly, you know, I make no bones about it. This level is kind of kicking my ass tonight. All right, 80%. Still got 10% to go. No. Just create a little pocket for ourselves here so we can know what we're getting into ahead of time. We've got a rover over there, we've got a rover here. You can use that grating. I think we're gonna skip that tunnel this time. I don't really want to mess with that. These tunnels can be great. Sometimes they just slow you down. In House of the Widow Moira, they're a big help.
Oh no, Parola!
Whoops,
There you are! On guard!
Well, I think most of you would have done that a lot differently, but again, it gave my reflexes a workout. At least he only got one shot off. I do sort of need the combat practice. Now, up there is a tunnel loot. We've got to get there, but let's get the crown first. That's not a stealable painting. Let's just watch out for this other guy. Let's not run afoul with him. I'm going for it. No, I'm not. Let's just wait. No, let's go for it. Krusty wants out.
Got him. Easy. Well, not exactly easy, but I was expecting more interference from Gamal.
Don't worry, you'll get it. Kind of. Sorta. You know, when I finally beat the last final sequence of the level, that's sort of exactly what I said. I too was expecting a lot more resistance from Gamal. I didn't get it. And I'm going to show you how. There's several ways you can go about not getting much resistance from Gamal.
What happened to the light?
She's just a big doofus.
Hey, what's going on with these lights? Now it's too dark.
Yes, it is too dark. Oh, I want out of this level.
Hello? You, Cappy? Maybe he's testing me. Jeez. Gotta relax.
Let's He's going to go to the left into the front foyer, and I need to get a visual on what this archer over here is
How
doing.
am I supposed to work when someone's put out the lights?
So we can get to all that sparkling loot over there. I need to...
Huh? Huh? Weakling. I see you. Now
Damn it.
I'm gonna kill you. Need help with him.
Okay. Alright, stop and think. What a wonderful time to have saved your game. What am I doing?
Oh, my eyes! Burning! Which way was I facing? Starting to come back. Ooh, what a relief. Hey, where'd you go?
I don't like you. At all.
What? Where is everything? Time to face me. Oh, my eyes.
Okay.
Some kind of little noise.
Of all the many mistakes I have made in this run of this level, one thing
Probably
I
heard a
had
mouse scurrying about.
I have so far managed to avoid is we did not need to do a quick load. But I very nearly caused that. That was what we call a rage brawl. Lost my temper there for a minute. Doesn't happen often, you know me. It's a rare occurrence. That guy made me mad.
Drives me batty. These lights are supposed to be left on.
Thank goodness.
I've got a headline for tomorrow's crime report. Museum not thief-proof after all. Thief nabs everything worth having at Wieldstrom. Turns out Gamal wasn't there. I'd like to know what she's been doing all night. In any case, all 5 artifacts are in my hands. Now to rendezvous with Artemis at the Stone Market Plaza. It's time to find out the truth, once and for all.
Let's take a look at my stats so far, because this is sort of really the last good time to do it. So... yeah, that almost casts me as looking better than I actually did. Loot stolen 34,750, so a marginally middle-class lifestyle. I will see everybody back next time for the supremely underwhelming final battle with Gamal.